Hello and happy Cyber Monday to you all. Welcome on into another edition of the PHNX D-Backs podcast right here on PHNX. My name is Derek Montilla. Of course, I am the mayor of Black Friday. I am the mayor of Cyber Monday. And this man next to me knows nothing about these deals. He knows nothing about my business. It's the one and only Thunderstick Jesse Friedman. I'm not even introducing you as the vice mayor today.
I'm just
I know you didn't even look at about Cyber Monday deals. You didn't even look at them, did you?
Oh, are you talking about like just the PHNX
sales.
Locker Cyber Monday deals?
That I know you definitely shop
I know
for.
a lot about the PHNX Locker Cyber Monday deals.
That's a good point.
Cyber Monday, other Cyber Monday deals. I've done a little bit of shopping today, Derek.
Yeah? I am so proud of you. Holy cow! I love it.
I've got an eye on a hammock for my backyard.
What?
There's a great deal on some jeans over on Amazon.
And you're buying stuff for yourself? You monster!
I know.
I'm so proud of you. Let's go.
Again, the shopping for other people doesn't begin until Christmas Eve.
I know.
But I can shop for myself at any time.
That works. I might have shopped for myself over at Pins and Aces today and got their mystery deal.
A bad influence.
Yeah, I am a bad influence. I love it. I love
Derek's
this guy.
sending me $100 arcade games.
I did. I sent him Cyber Monday deals. Big Buck Hunter was on sale. I was like, let's go.
I need it.
Ski to you all in the chat. Great to see you guys all. I hope you're all getting good Cyber Monday deals. If you need a great Cyber Monday deal, the Arizona Diamondbacks may in fact rival our PHNX Locker with their deal because their Ballpark Season Pass is absolutely one of the best deals that money can buy as far as sports entertainment is concerned, Jesse. $299 to go to 81 home games.
I mean, plus the 2 exhibition games. Don't you forget that? Don't you forget those 2 exhibition games.
I forgot.
Yeah, it works out to, I think, $3.60 per game, something like that. Now, granted, are any of the people who buy this actually going to attend all 83 of those home games? Probably not. I'm going to guess. Probably not.
Yeah. There's some downside to it for sure. It's definitely not the same as having a ticket, right? But it's still a pretty good deal. I like the way they set it up.
If you go to 30 of the games, then you paid $10 a game.
That's correct.
Which is pretty darn good deal.
That is correct.
Yeah, this is a pretty outrageous deal. I don't know if I've really ever seen any team offer
we've seen
anything like this.
We've seen this during the summer with their summer pass, which is something that they were trying to build on. They do like usually, I think 3 months for like $99, which for students, I think it was at students at one point, and then it was for other things. Piece of Yoshi doesn't understand jokes or comedy, and also Johnny Venerable pronounced my name wrong, Piece of Yoshi, so I don't care what those guys say on that damn Cardinals show over there. But I will say that the deal has kind of bumped up, and this is like the best version of this package that they have offered. They have a tweet here from Ben Verlander kind of says it all when it comes to this particular deal. Ben Verlander says, "This is awesome. The D-backs are offering tickets to every home game for $299.83. That's I didn't know the 83 cents. Oh wait, I thought it was I thought it was 83 cents. It's 83 home games. What a deal. Sorry, I can't read. Sometimes, hey, that's a weird
It is a weird organization.
It was a weird organization there on that one. But yeah, I mean that is honestly the best deal. I saw some Phillies fans saying that this is the cost to go to 3 games at Citizens Bank Park.
Yeah,
They're still hung up on our cheap
Philly fan
tickets
losers. I think you meant to say.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that's what makes this deal so great is, it'd be one thing for the D-backs to do this like after the 2021 season when you're coming off a season in which you won 52 games and you're just like desperately trying to make it so that the upper deck at Chase Field isn't completely empty during the regular season. This team was just in the World Series, and to come out with a deal like this, given the season that they just had and the fact that you'd already expect there to be a pretty significant uptick in attendance next season. That's something we've seen in the past for the D-backs when they have a season like the one they just had, when they just make the playoffs. They tend to see those gains in attendance the following year, maybe even more so than they do within that season. So I think they were already going to do a lot better in attendance in 2024. And you have to believe that this deal is only going to enhance that.
Ernesto says, if I were in Phoenix, I'd bought that yesterday. Connor says it's going to pay for itself after like 10 games.
Yeah,
that's totally the truth. There is a catch a bit. Other than the tickets are non-transferable, you can't give your tickets to a friend. You can't resell them.
Yeah, this is not a deal like if you're one of those lousy investor people who just like get season tickets so you can sell them off. This deal is not for you. This deal is not
this
for you.
This is for real fans is what this one's for. But you can link up with friends who also have the pass to sit together. That they do have an option for that. And the idea here is that you're not going to get the same seat. So that's where it's different from like a season ticket.
Right.
A season ticket, you're sitting in that seat for all the games. This is more of a based on availability. But I feel like that's going to give you the opportunity sometimes to get even better seats than maybe you might have been expecting, because if there is, potentially low attendance for a game, you might be sitting much closer than another game where you might be, if it's a little full, you might be back. But you do have to kind of like get your tickets in the app kind of for each particular game. And like I said, it does move around. The deal is only available for a limited time right now per the Diamondback site, but this is in fact, it has to be, especially for baseball, which is so long, the best deal in sports, right? I mean, I can't imagine. Not only that, but Derek Hall talked about also the concession sales and how the Diamondbacks still lead the league as far as the lowest overall cost per attending a game.
Right.
But this has to absolutely make them the lowest price to go see any sporting event. Just about.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like attending an Oakland A's game on like a third-party app, like you'd probably do
$6 tickets,
pretty well
maybe
there.
$4 tickets.
Although
this would be less than that. This was like this. If you go to every game, this is less than that, right? I mean, this is incredible. What a deal this really is.
And who knows? Maybe if the A's are playing in some ballpark that only has like 10,000 seats or whatever, which seems very possible. Maybe even A's tickets wind up being like reasonably expensive over the next few years, at least a little bit more expensive than they would have been. So yeah, it's hard to imagine any other team in the majors rolling out a deal like this. And the fact that it's coming from a team that literally just won the NL pennant is really, it's really cool.
Yeah, it is.
And I hope people are able to take advantage of this. And I know there's a lot of people, we've heard from a lot of people who do not live in Arizona, who are very sad that they do not live in Arizona solely because of this. Like, oh man, if I was an Arizona resident, I'd be all over this thing. But yeah, it's an incredible deal for the D-backs to offer. And their ballpark has too many seats. I think we've known that for kind of a long time at this point, but
put people in them.
But yeah, put people in them. I think this is the right move for the organization, even if it means leaving some money on the table potentially. I think this is kind of what you have to do.
I agree. Well, we know what the Diamondbacks are doing, and like Gabriel says here, Mariners raised their prices by 20% for missing the playoffs. So at least the Diamondbacks aren't going in that direction after making.
And we don't know what like regular season, like
that's true.
Like single game tickets look like. Yeah, maybe they will raise the prices there, but I mean, if they do raise the prices on single game tickets, it's going to make this deal all the more valuable. So, I mean, if you're planning on attending more than 15 games, 10, 15 games, then this deal very much works out in your favor. Are they, as you said earlier, are you going to be sitting in the third deck? Probably. I think that's probably where these seats will be, but there are upgrade options as well that I imagine they'll probably give you a decent deal if you want to move down into, section 112 or something, like somewhere nice on the baseline. So yeah, we'll see how it works out, but it's absolutely something that D-backs fans should be all in on if they're planning on attending more than just a handful of games next year.
That's exactly it. And again, it's better than it being empty, right? Like the stadium will generate revenue based on other things, buying merch, buying food, all of that other stuff. So not only does it bring an environment to the ballpark that the players themselves are looking for with more fans in the seats, but again, it could be good overall for the organization. I mean, hell, giveaway tickets, man. That's why I say if until we get to a point where capacity is an issue for fans purchasing tickets, the Diamondbacks should absolutely continue to do whatever they can to make it affordable to go see a game. And I know a lot of people that are excited to take advantage of this. Meanwhile, we have no idea what the Cardinals are doing. And when we say the Cardinals, I don't mean the Arizona Cardinals, but we also have no idea what the hell they're doing.
I have even less of an idea
what they're doing.
What was that yesterday?
Oh, God. But we do know, we don't know what the St. Louis Cardinals really are doing. Aside from putting together the oldest starting rotation in all of baseball, they have signed Sonny Gray to a 3-year, $75 million contract, which effectively removes Gray as an option for the Diamondbacks. We discussed him last week. They also signed Kyle Gibson to a 1-year deal worth $13 million. And, of course, Dodgers legend Lance Lynn to a 1-year, $11 million contract. Their current starting rotation, their average age is 35 years old, which I don't know if that's a terrible thing.
It doesn't seem like a good thing.
It's not a good thing, but I mean, the Cardinals aren't kind of going into I don't know. Are they rebuilding? Are they not rebuilding? I mean, these kind of don't seem like terrible options as far as if you're putting together, kind of a team for 2024. Like, they know that they had a lot of shortcomings when it comes to starting pitching after a lot of the trades they made, and having some of these veteran guys maybe around some of the younger guys that are coming up in their system might not be the worst idea in the world. But it definitely doesn't feel like the Cardinals are making the most of Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado's time on this team with this starting rotation.
Yeah, I mean, I think with Sonny Gray, it makes a lot more sense, right?
Yes.
I mean, with Kyle Gibson and Lance Lynn,
not so much.
The order that the Cardinals did this in was not particularly advantageous. I mean, the fact that it started with those two guys, I know there were a lot of people concerned about what their next move was going to be, and the fact that they really had to get one of the top tier starting pitchers in order to make it all make sense. And they did get one of those guys. I mean, Sonny Gray, we talked about him on the show as being a solid target for the Diamondbacks, potentially someone who very much belongs in that upper tier of starting pitchers available in free agency, but is also not going to cost you 6 figures. And 3 years, $75 million is certainly, nothing to sneeze at. That is a hefty investment. But I mean, it's still not costing you nearly as much in guaranteed money as Aaron Nola or Blake Snell or Yoshinobu Yamamoto. So this makes sense. This makes more sense now that Sonny Gray is a part of the mix. But it's still, on the whole, I mean, looking at this Cardinals rotation, Sonny Gray, Miles Mikolas, Kyle Gibson, Steven Matz, Lance Lynn. On paper, that's what their rotation would be if the season were starting tomorrow. And I still don't know if that's like exactly what Cardinals fans would have had in mind. I mean, Mikolas, Gibson, Matz, Lynn, none of those guys had ERAs that were especially pretty last year. I think Mikolas was high 4s. Gibson was high 4s. Yeah. Lance Lynn was in the high 5s. Steven Matz had an okayish year for them. So Sonny Gray is clearly the, far and away the best pitcher in this group. And the fact that he's part of it helps things out, but it's still not maybe what Cardinals fans are hoping for.
Connor makes a great point. He says in the chat, Gray's contract worries me about what other free agent starters are going to be asking for now. He said he was just a Cy Young finalist, but $25 million per year for a 34-year-old starter, not great. I mean, not something that I'd be excited about. Brian up there in the chat says Cards are getting the free agency work done early so they can chill the rest of the offseason. That is my holiday shopping strategy right there. They're following that holiday strategy. But Nicholas says definitely feels like we might head down the trade route with how strong these starter free agency contracts are. That could be the case. But remember, it's more about the fact that the Diamondbacks are willing. They do have some money to spend. It just depends. This market, the direction it goes dictates how much they're going to spend on what, right? Like, I think that starting pitching is still going to be a priority for the Diamondbacks. So I feel like if it's going to cost them more, that's where they're going to put more of their funds, and then maybe try to find more of a bargain in a right-handed hitting outfielder and a DH potentially.
I don't think 375 is insane for Sonny Gray. I think we talked about Fangraphs projecting something like 3-65.
Yeah.
I think MLB Trade Rumors had 4-90. So yeah, I guess the AAV is higher than what I might have expected, but getting him for 3 years instead of 4, I do think is a bit of a win as well. With an aging player, you might be more comfortable going to a higher AAV over a shorter term than extending it out for another year. So there very well might have been a compromise here. Maybe 4-90 was on the table, and Sonny Gray decided to go to 3 years instead, and with a little bit of an uptick on the AAV. So it's not a crazy contract, but we have a couple of mailbag questions about the ramifications of this deal for the D-backs. So we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah, and we have a lot to get into when it comes to Mailbag Monday. But before we do that, we do want to also acknowledge that another name we brought up last week, Kenta Maeda, is now out of free agency. The Tigers signed Maeda to a 2-year, $24 million deal.
Which I feel like we made that happen.
That hurts my heart,
we
too.
We talked about Kenta Maeda.
Yeah, we let them know. The Tigers were watching, and they were like, oh, shit, he's available. And 2 years, $24 million. That's the exact kind of contract we wanted them to sign Maeda to, especially as maybe a back end, starting rotation guy, like that fifth rotation spot.
It's still like, as we talked about in Friday's show when we were talking about Maeda, like he was never the ideal outcome for, your number 3 starter. If you got him as a number 5 starter, as you said, then yeah, sure, that works out great.
Yeah.
But I don't think missing out on Maeda was terrible for the D-backs as long as there's some other plan in place.
No. Brian brings up that I'm not in sweats for a day. Yes, I'm very cold and uncomfortable, to be honest. So I'm not very happy right now.
I think Karen said earlier in the chat that our Groundhog Mama, as she's known in the chat, pointed out how I look like I'm about to go on a ski trip in Flagstaff, and you're
I'm in
just
shorts.
wearing shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Karen doesn't understand how cold it is.
Yeah, the
how
dynamic.
Needlessly cold it is in the PHNX office at all times.
Meanwhile, I was in the gym, and when I come back from the gym, I usually have to sit in front of one of the fans here in the office for a good 20 minutes to cool my core temperature down in order to do this show. So that's why you see us in these 2 outfits. But, it is what it is. I will say this, though. I need to get myself some new sweatshirts to go with all my sweatpants. And a great place to do that is over at the PHNXlocker.com right now, where the Cyber Monday deal is going on strong. Get yourself some deals over at PHNXlocker.com right now. There's so much for you to grab. Of course, all of our t-shirts. We have all sorts of deals, sweatshirts on sale, hats on sale, everything. So make sure to grab yourself some Cyber Monday deals over at the PHNXlocker.com. Of course, if you are a diehard, we thank you for being a diehard. If you are not a diehard, make sure to grab that diehard membership as well. You will save on shirts and merchandise at PHNX Locker all season long. But again, get down up to 90% off right now over at PHNXlocker.com. You can get some shirts for as low as 99 cents. It's absolutely absurd. We also have this little deal, Jesse, where you spend $75 and you'll get a $15 gift card. So that's a pretty nice little addition on for you can get all of your sports fans in life taken care of over at the PHNXlocker.com. And like I said, get yourself a diehard deal. Get a diehard deal for a loved one. Get your diehard membership. Make sure you guys are all set up for the next year. We appreciate you guys, of course, that have already signed up. But if you haven't, get Jesse's newsletter, get access to our Discord, get discounts over at the PHNX Locker all the time. Do it now. Join us over here. Also, a great gift this holiday season is getting yourself and some friends glasses from Shady Rays. They have all sorts of different available options, including shades, snow goggles, and prescription glasses. And of course, they are an independent sunglass company with a world-class product that is just as good as the expensive companies without costing you as much. They also have that lost and broken replacement plan that I've taken advantage of, in which if you lose or break your sunglasses, even on day one, they told us they will get you a brand new pair. No questions asked. So make sure to check out our friends at Shady Rays. Like I said, they right now have their biggest sale of the year for Black Friday. Don't miss out on the best deals for shades, snow goggles, and those prescription sunglasses. Go to shadyrays.com and try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. But if getting your loved ones sunglasses isn't enough this holiday season, maybe you want to get your loved ones just some cold, hard cash. And a great way to do that, of course, is with the best holiday gift anyone can get, especially last-minute shoppers, Arizona Lottery Holiday Scratchers, which, by the way, can we get one? Can I get a scratcher? I want a scratcher. I want to scratch a scratcher right now because talking about scratchers makes it. Thank you so much, Damon. You are a wonderful human being. He even brought me something to scratch it with. Jesse, do you want to talk about procrastinating when it comes to Christmas gifts, holiday gifts?
I've talked about it. I've talked about it plenty. Yeah, I don't feel like I have much more to add about my holiday shopping procrastination at this point. So,
hold on.
Derek is scratching this.
I'm scratching.
A little ASMR.
$5.
Hey.
$5 on my first scratcher of the season. See, it's that easy. It's a $1 scratcher. I just made a 500% profit on this scratcher. So what do you say?
That is.
See how easy that is? See, now I just have money.
Spend $1, get 5.
Spend 1, get 5.
That's the first one anyone's done.
Is that the first one anyone's done, and it's a winner?
And it's a winner.
That's because
Arizona
I scratched
lottery.
it. Arizona lottery.
You owe me $2.50.
Is that how we're going to work this?
Yeah, I think
split?
so.
I thought we said 70-30 at one point. If I was going to do the scratching work, I said 70-30.
No,
we'll figure this out.
I never agreed.
You got to figure out your scratching with your friends, whoever gets it. Of course, there is a scratcher for everyone on your list. Scratchers start at just $1, and you can win up to $500,000. I didn't win that on this one, but I'm going to scratch some more. I'm feeling lucky. We'll see what we get. But go out and buy your holiday scratchers today. They're perfect for stocking stuffers. They're perfect for last-minute gifts. And they're just perfect. Forget last-minute gifts. They're perfect for people who think ahead, like me. I will go out and get scratchers, but I'm not going to wait till the last minute like this guy. I'm going to go do it today. You can do that too. Sorry, I hate to keep throwing you under the bus. I'm sorry. I felt like I was so nice to you last week with the Thanksgiving episode that I really have to turn it up.
That's true. Yeah, you have to make up for that.
It was kind of gross. It was kind of gross. But again, you guys know 2023 obviously was almost the year of the Arizona Diamondbacks, but every year is our year on this show. Every year is the year of the snake. Of course, every month on this show is Black History Month. Every month on this show, Women's History Month. Every month on this show, Black Women's History Month. Every month is Pride Month. Every week is Shark Week. Every day is Earth Day. But Mondays, we go to the mailbag. Damon, let's go.
My mailbox. Always something interesting in my mailbox. I try to get to everything in my mailbox. And then once in a while, there's a letter that makes me go, wow, wow, my mailbox.
All right. Thanks again to Mega Ran for that wonderful song. We got some mailbag questions. What do we got, Damon? First question comes from our guy Gabriel at Bold as Bronze on Twitter. He says, what are your expectations for next season? Playoffs, World Series title, or more development?
I think if they win between 75 and 78 games, I think you're probably feeling pretty good about the 2024 season.
Not even funny.
Get out. It's World Series title or bust. That's the answer. World Series title or bust.
If you're in position to buy at the trade deadline, I think everyone's happy, right? No, that's not true.
Meaningful games in September.
Yeah, meaningful games in August, maybe. September? Like at least try to be competitive for most of the season. No, I think it's unfair to say that the Diamondbacks have to win the World Series in 2024. Otherwise, the season is a failure.
He's right.
I think that's going a little bit too far. I know that they fell just short of that in 2023. And theoretically, this team gets better over the offseason and is well positioned to make, another run in 2024. But
baseball is baseball. Baseball, you know what I mean?
The D-backs only won 84 games. They had a minus negative run differential. If we're being honest, this team was ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
We've said that many times. I don't think anyone saw this roster making it as far as they did. But I think you got to make the playoffs. I think that's where I would start for 2024. If the D-backs miss the playoffs after finding their way all the way to the World Series, I think that would be a disappointment. If they find their way into the playoffs, I think that's a success. And, anything beyond that, of course, would be great. I'm sure, people would love to see them get back to the World Series if they can do that. But for me, it starts with just making the playoffs.
That's it for me too. I don't even want to start on this whole, now they should win the, NL West division. Look.
Yeah, I think that's frankly an unrealistic goal. Yeah.
I mean, the Dodgers are bringing Jason Hayward back on a 1-year deal.
Yeah, the Dodgers signed Jason Hayward, so they mean business this offseason.
He's right.
I mean,
we got to pump our brakes on expectations about winning the NL West.
That's how it works.
Those are the building blocks. Actually, signing someone like Jason Hayward to a 1-year deal just further confirms for me that they're going to sign Shohei Ohtani, because they're not going out and upgrading themselves at outfielder. And that's not to take anything away. I feel like I'm slandering Jason Hayward here with this whole thing. He's still excellent.
Nothing is more Dodgers than Jason Hayward having an 813 OPS in 2023.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He had a great season. I'm just saying you really want to just see this team have sustained success as far as playoff runs go. I want to see them back here. I want to see them competing again. I'm not going to act like I'm going to be super satisfied if they make the playoffs and go out in the first round or anything like that. But seeing this team continue to be competitive, continue to make it again into that postseason and have an opportunity at that run is really all I'm looking for at this point.
Yeah, I'm with you.
All right, what else we got? Next question comes from Rudy Rudy on Twitter at Rudy Barron 20 asks, since Sonny Gray is now off the market, what starting pitcher do you think we are going to target? I think Japanese left-handed starting pitcher Imanaga might be a great target if we can't get Yamamoto. I think a lot of these guys are getting a lot of attention. I think based on what we saw there on the Sonny Gray deal, I have a feeling that starting pitching is going to be very expensive, just like what we're going to see in the limited third base market. So I don't know. I don't know at this point who the Diamondbacks are going to go out and get, but both of those guys for me would be a win as far as I'm concerned. And I feel like the Diamondbacks could potentially bring in someone like Imanaga and you could see them thrive here and flourish and have a good season. It might be, it might be the better choice of the two as far as, what we see production wise out of them and what the results are. But you just don't know how any pitcher from a different country or different league is going to acclimate to Major League Baseball. There's no way to tell until they get here and start playing. I honestly, because of that variable, I would like to see them go with a more established Major League Baseball starter. Maybe someone that isn't going to be as flashy and isn't going to be right now as big of a draw for a lot of the teams interested, that they could maybe save some money on.
You want Jordan Montgomery?
Yes, Jordan Montgomery is the guy I want. You know that. But he's going to be very expensive.
He's going to be really expensive.
And as someone said, it's crazy of me to think that he would jump ship from one World Series team to another. Ha! It's all about the money, folks, just to remind you that. If the Diamondbacks make an offer, Montgomery will be a Diamondback. But, ideally, that's kind of the direction I'd rather go.
Sonny Gray was one of those top-tier starters, like we said earlier. And I think should the D-backs have given Sonny Gray $3 and $75? I don't know. That is a pretty high AAV, as we talked about earlier. But I don't think I see the D-backs getting Blake Snell. I don't think I see the D-backs getting Yamamoto. The prices on those guys just going to be insane.
Yeah.
So Sonny Gray now off the table. So I think Jordan Montgomery is maybe the last guy in that kind of top tier starters S-tier, where you could kind of see the D-backs at least being able to make some noise and make an offer. Do they wind up with the highest offer to Jordan Montgomery? I still would probably say no. Do you want them to make the highest offer to Jordan Montgomery? I would probably say no personally. I think that he's more of a mid-rotation guy than a top-of-the-rotation guy. I don't know if you want to give someone like that $130 million or whatever it winds up taking. I don't think that the answer is one of those guys, frankly. Yeah. If they're able to find a way to get Montgomery, I guess that would be the next guy that it would make sense to at least, see what the market is like, see what things look like there.
And to pay a lot of money on.
Yeah.
to pay a lot of money on.
But
Connor's wanted him since July. We did too. We wanted him to when the Cardinals were trading him, which again, it's really weird, the talent that the Cardinals traded away and now the talent that they're bringing in to fill their starting rotation gaps there. But hey, I don't know. I just think in the end, Montgomery is probably going to end up costing too much money.
Most likely. And beyond that, if he's not an option, then I guess Shota Imanaga, I do think that's an interesting arm. We've talked about him on the show a little bit. And if it's not him, then I guess you look to the trade market, right?
Bring back Wade Miley.
Corbin Burns is out there. Wade Miley is a free agent.
Try
to bring back Wade Miley. He's still putting up the numbers. The peripherals aren't so shiny anymore, but he still had like a low 3 ERA, I think, last year for the Brewers. So, it's a really tough market. And I know some people were saying it in the chat earlier. It seems like the trade market might be where the Diamondbacks have to turn if they are going to land, one of those top tier starters that a lot of people are hoping they get.
Hot take, since his name is being brought up in the chat, I think Trevor Bauer will play in MLB baseball this year.
Oh,
I don't think he'll be for the Diamondbacks, but I think he will be.
There is no chance that Trevor Bauer plays for the Diamondbacks.
No,
I would be utterly shocked. If
absolutely none. Absolutely none. And this might age poorly if they turn around and do that, but I have less than 0% chance of them signing him. But I wouldn't be surprised to see him back in baseball this year. All right, what else we got, Damon? Next question comes from our baby boy, Aaron Hughes. And Aaron asks, there's an obvious hole in the outfield right now, missing a bit power hitting bat. None of the big names have come off the market. What are y'all favorite options to fill the spot? Producer included.
Oh.
He's thinking of you, Damon.
Aaron's a good guy.
How nice of him. Do you want to kick things off?
I want either Soler or JD Martinez, I think, to fill that DH spot. And then I think ideally Jordan Montgomery, as we were just talking about, Be good to get a high-level lefty.
You want JD Martinez to play outfield? I don't know about that, Damon. I don't know about that.
Well, do you think that they will go after a big DH like that and a starting outfielder?
I mean, on paper, that would be ideal. I have a little bit of skepticism that they will land a really solid offensive DH and outfielder in addition to their starting pitcher need, and they need a backup. Like, it's kind of hard to see all that coming together.
So I guess my ideal way would probably be to go, I would get like Soler, Montgomery, and maybe like Tommy Pham on a short-term deal.
Bring back Tommy Pham. Yeah. I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. What do you think, Jesse?
Yeah, I mean, if they don't wind up having the resources to fill every single one of those needs, then yeah, I mean, Tommy Pham coming back on a 1-year deal to DH certainly wouldn't be the worst thing, and I think would be an upgrade over what they'd have in house. The Baltimore Orioles are an interesting team to me. I think they have the ability to unload an outfielder if the Diamondbacks could persuade them to. Anthony Santander is a name that stands out to me as
nailed it.
Why are you laughing at me?
You nailed it. You nailed the. You nailed it. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
All right, Derek.
If my name's a little hard to pronounce, that's okay. You know what I mean? You nailed it, though. I'm not trying to judge you.
I also nailed Eugenio Suarez.
No, you did. I guarantee you.
Still, you refuse to believe me.
Refuse to believe
that. But yeah, Anthony Santander has one more. He's under contract for one more season, so it'd still be kind of a stopgap. But I don't think it would cost an outrageous amount to get him. The Orioles have a lot of depth, position player wise. I don't know exactly what they would want in return. So whether there's a true match there. Not totally sure, but he was a good hitter last year. 257, 325 on base, 472 slugging percentage. He hit 28 home runs for the Baltimore Orioles. If you could find a way to get someone like that on this team, I think that would go a long way. In free agency, I just don't know if I see an outfielder that would really move the needle for them too much. If you want to put Jorge Soler in the outfield, I think he would be his bat is certainly something that I think they would like, but you probably want Jorge Soler to DH more than you want him in the outfield at this point.
For sure. And I mean, honestly, the Diamondbacks just could do the thing that, that they're going to do, and that is get Shohei Ohtani, and that fixes the starting pitching and DH problem, right?
Yeah, clearly.
That's easier than going out and
he's affordable. And he's reliable. Like, you're going to get 108 innings in 2024 because
absolutely. He's definitely going to pitch
have Tommy John
in 2024.
So it checks all the boxes.
We solved that problem. All right, Damon, what else we got?
Michael wrote, did you give your?
No, I don't really have anything. I mean, Jorge's Soler is like my best option there, and like Jesse said, I don't really know, because when you look at the options for outfielders, there's just not great ones. I mean, when you look at
in free agency, it's very
bleak. I mean, you literally have Lourdes being one of the best available free.
He might be the best, right?
Right. Not the best.
I mean, Cody Bellinger.
Like, he's probably like fourth best, third best, arguably.
Well, that's why I like Tommy Pham on like a 1 year, $8 million deal. Bring him back. He's a good postseason player too.
Yeah. And again, like Jesse said, Soler can play some outfield. You just don't want him to play out there very much. That's the big key there.
He's just not great at it.
He's just not good.
And he doesn't have. I know a lot of people have talked about wanting someone who has a good throwing arm, which I do think would make some sense.
Yeah.
Or Soler, his arm is kind of average and his range is well below average. So I just don't really think you want him playing a whole lot of defense.
Connor says, weren't we saying the same thing about Lourdes last year, and he became a solid left fielder after a couple of months? I mean, yeah, he had a lot of defensive runs saved, but again, Lourdes just had an uncommonly good season out there.
He had a really good year defensively.
He did. He just,
I think any outfielder that comes in here could benefit from, some of the coaching that the Diamondbacks have. They clearly have the ability to, help guys reach new levels defensively in the outfield. But I think Lourdes is maybe a little more athletic than like a Jorge Soler.
Yep, I agree. All right, what else we got? Michael Rokicki asks, you can only choose one. Corbin Carroll on the cover of MLB The Show 24. The Dutch Bros back at Chase Field.
This is an outrageous question because it's the first one by 100 miles. Corbin Carroll on the cover of MLB The Show versus getting to drink coffee at the ballpark, which doesn't make sense anyway.
What about the video game cover curse.
Stop it.
What about what?
Like video game cover curses.
Can I just selfishly say, if this question is to me, how does Corbin Carroll being on the cover of a video game help me, Jesse? What does that do for me? It's an achievement for him. It's a very big achievement for the organization.
You are unbelievably selfish,
to get
Derek.
a blended Rebel again at Chase Field? Are you kidding me? I'm taking the Dutch Bros at Chase Field 10 times out of 10.
Also, it's $70 out of your pocket too.
Yeah.
For the show.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just saying. I don't want to curse Corbin. I don't want people to know. I want them to forget Corbin Carroll exists until he steals 3 bags on him and hits a home run. That's what I want. So I'm fine. I'm fine with him not being on the cover.
With those ballpark prices, isn't your fancy little beverage there about $70 too?
I don't care, Jesse.
You get 3 of those for $70.
It's the place where I work. I am fine with that. I just want my Dutch Bros back. That's all I want. It's all I want. I don't think it's that hard to ask. It's not. Again, it's very limited things at Chase Field that I need in my life. Bring back Panda Express and bring back Dutch Bros. But of course, the one thing that will never leave me, of course, is the BetMGM Sportsbook app, whether I'm at Chase Field, whether I'm at home. That's the one thing they can't take away from me and install a new one in. I have control over that. You can sign up today and have some fun with any sports that you watch by placing your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through their mobile application of at least $10 using our code of PHNX. If you do, you will receive $200 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. All you have to do is sign up and use our code of PHNX, deposit at least $10 into your newly created account, and place a wager in that amount or more at a standard odds price. Once you've done so, you will receive $200 instantly in bonus bets, regardless of the outcome of your wager. Of course, lately, I've still been getting down on some of the Suns bets. As far as Jesse goes, Jesse has converted over to a part-time Suns reporter. So I've been using his tweets to go over there. I've been analyzing points per game, things like that he keeps tweeting out. I don't know who's paying him to do that. I don't know what the purpose of him doing. I don't know at what point he joined the Suns podcast.
A well-informed Suns fan.
It's frustrating to me. He puts more work into that than he does in replying to my text messages, and it bothers me every single time. But of course, you can sign up for the BetMGM and do whatever you want with their mobile application. Again, bet how you wish to. Use that bonus code PHNX. Place your first sportsbook wager through the mobile application of at least $10. You will receive $200 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. Check out the show notes for full details. And now listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., New York, or Ontario.
Ontario.
See, people like my son's tweets, Derek. You see that?
Chris likes everything Chris likes
That's
everything.
Fair.
Elizabeth I enjoy Jesse's son's tweets. My point is who's paying him to do that? That's my point.
That's the goodness of my heart, Derek. Yeah, I give the people what they want.
See, that's I'm just trying
Derek's
to help
telling
you make
to
some money.
Like shut up and dribble, basically. But by dribble, he means
shut up and play
Diamondbacks.
ball is what I want. And when I say play ball, I mean baseball, not basketball, Jesse. It's infuriating to me. But speaking of getting you to make some money, sign up for a Desert Financial Credit Union account. You can get yourself $200 in bonuses instantly. For more than 84 years, Desert Financial has been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union. They've been dedicated to creating exceptional experiences by giving back to the community and to their customers and providing financial solutions that make your life better. They got me started on my home ownership journey, and they can get you started as well. Look to Desert Financial for checking and savings accounts, mortgages, loans, credit cards, investment options, and more. And again, when you open a free checking account online right now during this holiday season, when money is very important, you can get $200 in bonuses. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200. We got some more Mailbag Monday questions. Damon, what else we got there in the mailbag? Next question comes from Travis Moore. Travis says, considering the Sonny signing, what are your ideal realistic signings, trades to solidify the rotation? Who are you willing to give up in trades? What is the rotation order at that point? And I think that's the bigger question here from Travis is we talk a bit about the free agency market. And we talk about trades, but what are we willing to give up? And I think that's the part of it. When we look at some of these deals, it doesn't feel like too much when it's considering minor league guys, like it just depends on which minor league guys are part of the equation. Obviously, there are guys that are kind of off limits, like Drew Jones. I feel Jordan Lawler is kind of off limits, right? But if the right deal came this way for Jordan Lawler, do you think he would be part of it potentially?
I think that's the question the D-backs might have to answer. It's a little hard to envision them landing a Corbin Burns, a Dylan Cease, a Tyler Glasnow, one of those really good starting pitchers that is available in the trade market, without giving up, at least Drew Jones. I think Jordan Lawler has probably the most trade value of anyone that they'd be willing to part with. But Drew Jones still has probably a decent amount of trade value, even though the start to his pro career has obviously not been great. Tommy Troy, I'm sure, the D-backs first-round pick from this 2023 draft, also a guy I'm sure the teams would be asking about. If there's a way to get one of those bigger name starting pitchers in the trade market without giving up one of those three guys, it feels like you might just have to do it. And it might be Yu-Min Lin, it might be Ivan Melendez, it might be, Christopher Torin, a young guy who's, still a number of years away, but someone that I think a lot of people in the organization are excited about. You might just have to get to a place where if you can avoid giving up one of those top three prospects, then, anyone else is sort of on the table, and you just try to make the package work as well as you can. But again, I'm not sure that you can get to a place where you're able to acquire one of those top starters without giving up Lawler, Troy, or Drew Jones. I'm just not sure that there would be enough there for, a team like the White Sox to give up 2 years of Dylan Cease at really, really affordable contract over these next couple seasons. So we'll see how it turns out, but this is probably a question the D-backs are grappling with right now.
And the other thing there is the Corbin Burns rumors, and the packages for him didn't seem to be too much, but at the same time, you're only getting 1 year of Corbin Burns.
Right.
And is it really enough? If it brings you a World Series title in 2024, then the answer is yes. I don't feel like there's any price too, expensive. If you could look into the future potentially and see that you would actually win the World Series in 2024. So no way to know that, and like you said, the Diamondbacks have a lot of things to, lot of questions to answer there when it comes to who they are willing to trade and what they want in return. The biggest thing that scares me is, again, the trade market last year. We talked about so many potential starting pitchers that the Diamondbacks could trade for, and outside of Jordan Montgomery, outside of one or two guys from that list, most of them were not really seemingly worth the money in the second half with their new team than
or worth the
trade aspect. Right. So interesting to see how that basically works itself out here for the Diamondbacks. What else we got, Damon? Next question comes from Diamondback 1325. Frank the Tank. He asked, will the Diamondbacks make any free agent signings this offseason? Looking pretty thin at the moment for players in their price range, unless, of course, they make a huge splash. I mean, Mike Hazen is very good, I think, at making those under-the-radar moves. And I wouldn't be surprised, again, like we said, if their big focus is starting pitching, and then from that point, we do see a little bit of the bargains, some of the deals. I don't know what it's going to cost to bring some of these guys over, but I will say that it's got to be pretty appealing for a lot of players to want to join a team that just made the World Series, is young, is exciting, has good coaching staff, seems to have things going in the right direction as far as, from an organizational standpoint. So like, I would think that would make for an attractive destination, but some of the prices are pretty high. It's kind of like Black Friday. The Black Friday deals weren't great, Jesse.
Cyber Monday deals, though.
Cyber Monday deals, yeah. I'm a little mad. I made some purchases that are looking a little bad now.
Cyber Monday makes you regret all of your Black Friday
Friday. Why are we
purchases.
having better deals on Monday than we are Friday? What are we doing here? Why are we doing this to people? I don't know. We won't do that to you at PHNX. It's the same deals all weekend long.
What was I going to say?
I don't know.
Yes. Is the question, will the Diamondbacks make any free agent signings?
Yes.
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 I mean,
the answer is yes.
Of course they will.
They will.
Yeah, of course they will.
They have to.
Will they? Yeah. Will they sign Jordan Montgomery or, sign someone to, a 9-figure deal? Then, that's obviously a different question. But yeah, the Diamondbacks are absolutely going to sign at least one free agent and more likely more in order to meet all of the needs that they have this offseason.
All right, Damon, what else we got? Sean, I think it's Sean McNally, asks, if the D-backs traded Alek Thomas for, say, a starting pitcher, do you feel the drop-off to Jake McCarthy, is that significant? Or considering everything, you keep the status quo? That's a great question.
It's fascinating.
And I hate it because I hate the idea of trading Alek Thomas. Our young king goes nowhere. But like you said, if the deal is right and it's a significant enough starting pitcher that gives you multiple years of control and not for someone like Corbin Burns, then, I mean, Jake McCarthy he's capable, but do you really want Jake McCarthy out there in center field every day? I don't know. I mean, we've seen him at times be quite good, and we've seen him at times be quite good at the plate. But again, the difference between, someone who can play baseball and the good and great baseball players is consistency. How often can you do it? How good are you all the time? And I think Jake, that's the thing. I mean, obviously Alek wasn't the best offensively last year, so it doesn't feel like the drop off as far as offensive production is significant, but the defensive drop off I think is pretty significant.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of reminds me of last season when the D-backs were going to trade one of their left-handed hitting outfielders, and they eventually came to the conclusion that, I mean, they weren't going to trade Corbin Carroll, but they came to the conclusion that trading Varsho made the most sense because he just brought them the best return by a pretty wide margin.
Right.
And I kind of wonder if this offseason you're in a somewhat similar situation where you can trade Alek Thomas, you can trade Dominic Fletcher, you could trade Jake McCarthy. The D-backs still have depth at that position, but Alek Thomas is probably going to get you more than McCarthy or Fletcher would, maybe by a significant margin. I don't know exactly how these guys are viewed by the Diamondbacks or by other teams, but there's a lot of value in what Alek Thomas gives you defensively, in addition to still being as young as he is, right, 23 years old, and still having an offensive ceiling that I think is a little bit intriguing. I still think there are probably some teams out there, perhaps including the Diamondbacks, who believe that Alek Thomas can still turn things around and still be a pretty good hitter when all is said and done, not just against righties, but against lefties as well. So I do think there's a pretty decent drop-off there for the D-backs defensively. I think Jake McCarthy's probably about an average center fielder, whereas Alek Thomas is an elite center fielder. Yeah. There's a pretty big difference there. And I think there's more to like moving forward about what Alek Thomas could become offensively. But yeah, I guess I wouldn't rule it out necessarily. Yeah. I mean, it could be that Alek Thomas gets you the big starting pitcher or whatever, and you just kind of had to bite the bullet and make that move. But I would still be pretty surprised if they trade Alek Thomas. It seems like they view him very highly.
We weren't in love with the idea of trading Dalton Varsho, but like Jesse said, the return that we ended up getting and everything that happened this season kind of made us completely forget, in a way, about our feelings of
you forgot about Dalton Varsho.
No, apprehension about trading.
Okay.
More of that.
I did.
Yeah. Oh, you've already forgot about them all together. Oh, you monster. All right. One more question, and that comes from our King Snake Cogs. Cogs asked, if Diamondbacks ask you to design a completely brand new jersey as an additional option in their wardrobe, what would be the theme, design, and colors you use? That's a lot. This could be a whole show, Cogs. You're dropping us on this at the last minute here. This is a big one. I feel like there's some quintessential things that I would need to include. It would need to be a vest of some kind.
Okay.
To bring back the greatness of the vest jersey. Pinstripes would need to be included. And I'm okay with, keeping the color scheme as it is if we didn't want to venture too far away. Like I'm okay with doing kind of a new version of the vest, but bringing in the Sedona red and the teal accents and stuff like that. But one important thing, there has to be copper on it somewhere.
Has to be copper.
I want copper on it.
Interesting.
I think copper should be part of the design.
I mean, everyone wants purple, right? I mean, I guess
it's so easy.
The correct answer here is to just bring back one of the old throwback. I mean, that's sort of the answer right there, I think. But
what if it was purple?
Right, exactly.
Right.
I will say that I'm intrigued at the thought of an all teal uniform. Now that they're kind of embracing teal and what it brings to the color scheme.
Maybe something like kind of Seattle Mariners-ish, but not like our own thing, right?
Yeah, I think that, if you're really going to bring teal in and make it not like your primary color, but, a secondary color that is very prominent in all of these new designs, I think it'd be fun to just kind of go all out and make a teal jersey that you wear every now and then. See what people think of it. If it's not purple, then it's not going to be good enough, but
I thought that whole Sedona red thing with the Diamondbacks all across was going to be too much, but hey, it's not, right? I kind of like that jersey. So there we go. There you go. We got you. Maybe you
we do them both. Maybe we do an all teal uniform with like copper lettering on it.
That's like Tucson Sidewinders.
Yes.
And those are pretty sweet.
Yes, we figured it out.
There you go.
There it is. There's your answer. But if you have more questions, especially when it comes to flooring needs, they might not know baseball that great, but Empire today has your back when it comes to flooring needs. You can shop for floors simple with a curated product selection. You don't have to go and look at millions of samples of things that you have no interest in. They have you covered. They will not overwhelm you with choices. And of course, they'll allow you to check out the options at home. They'll also allow you to use their virtual floor designer at home for you to see how the new floors will look in any space. It's easy. You just snap a picture and instantly you can see how the floors will look in your new home. I know Jesse's doing some renovations. That's what the hammock is for. It's just the beginning of the renovations. But Empire today will help you out with all of those changes you want to make to your home. It's a great thing for you to do around your home during the holiday season. You can schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive $350 off when they use promo code PHNX. Restrictions do apply. See empiretoday.com/PHNX for details. Well, we talked about how great that deal was for the season tickets, and we know not everybody could get the season tickets for $300. So if you're still looking to go to some games, another great cheap option is to go with our friends at Game Time. They are the place for last-minute ticket deals. So if you get that FOMO, you forgot to buy tickets, but you want to go, and today is the day. It is the fastest-growing ticketing app in the country for a reason, and that reason is they have cheap tickets available for you last minute when you want to go to a show. So you can snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app today. Create an account and use code PHNX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Well, that's all we got. We thank you guys so much for your Mailbag Monday questions. We will be back here tomorrow. We will also have, quite possibly this week, our biggest in-studio guest that we've ever had.
Stay tuned.
So stay tuned for that. You can follow us on Twitter. I am at @cap_caveman with a K. Jesse is at Jesse N. Friedman. This is our swear jar. That is JJ the Snake. Damon is our producer. He's the people's producer. He's at Damon Dog. That's DAWG. Of course, we are Damon's dogs.
Bark, bark.
Woof, woof. God, we're never gonna get on the same page as that. Patrick, I miss you. Of course, our show's at PHNX_DBacks, and all roads do lead to @PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We thank you guys so much for your time. We appreciate you. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it is so much more fun when you can get season tickets for just $300.
We all silly like the mayor.